most people would expect him to do. And I think if he keeps that peak, that mental game up, he can do really well against her.
Well, let's see. We're heading on to the first game, and we're heading over to small battlefield with some really interesting music in the background. But I like the vibe. We're heading into the losers quarterfinals. Of course, this is, kind of an all or nothing phase at this point. So let's see how both of these players
we're already seeing. Tarik may not be getting the best damage, but already was very close to like getting an offstage decent punish or position for just covering what Solo's been doing. But yeah, already the damage is much more evened out already in the first less than 1 minute, and now we're just seeing very small little pokes or slight amounts of adjustments here, just a lot of neutral resets or small neutral wins, but now we're seeing a bit more of an advantage here, getting off almost a kill there, but good DI from Solo there.
Yeah, pushing it to the limit, as if it was Cloud. Well, it's probably Terra typing forming into the water type and dealing as much damage as possible to this Rosalina and Luma, because it's looking great. And there gets the forward air kill for Tarik. Great find.
Yeah, you can kind of just notice. Yeah, that's another thing he kept like trying on ice studying, but it seems like Tarik is punishing him harder for doing I forgot what it's called. I think it's the cursor pull, whatever, gravitation. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think so as well.
Wow, just the awareness is pretty high on Tarik. I think they might have studied. I think Tarik may have studied against the character players like Solo and the Buzz already. I mean, maybe Tarik has fought the Buzz.
Yeah.
I can't say for sure.
I can say for sure. I think they've played off against each other on a crew battle. I know that for sure. So.
Oh, the crew battle. Like, is it like America versus Europe?
Yeah.
That one is a while ago. Wow.
But I know it was this year because I recently looked at it and I was like, hey, there's Tarik against the Buzz. So.
Well, yeah, we can already tell. So Solo's quite the Buzz fan, and yeah, we might just see like Solo just showing off that he's an amazing Rosalina, and it's seemingly being very evened out here.
Yeah, this game is back and forth, and I think the damage is not really to the most output, but when the damage hits, they're still trying to figure out how they can maximize their damage potential. Okay, for the Luma having the jab, and that's good.
What I feel like I could get out of this like whole event today is that like even if the players that don't win want to win don't win, they're gonna remember this. They've learned a lot. They've had some fun experiences, and I feel like they're gonna improve a lot from just playing these sets out, and maybe they might even tell the people in the US or other regions about like maybe these players, and like maybe they'll have a lasting impact, and we'll see.
Well, perhaps that could very well be, but Tarik is saying no, go back to your flat country and cheese, because he's up 2 stocks. Well, and maybe
wow, that forwarder doesn't kill just yet. Interesting.
It was already there, but Greninja living on 165% on small battlefields. It's cool to see, but perhaps we're seeing the kill now with the Luma onto his back.
Was a shield break there. Very dangerous position for Tarik to be in. The Luma almost cornered him.
I mean, Tarik kept his cool in that situation where I would probably freak out 3 times already. He took his cool and he took out on the advantage, and now dealing damage to Rosalina, even at 184%. Also looking for the counter there. The first time I think I've seen it in quite some time, and unfortunately the timing was just off. But
ooh, yeah,
it was a great choice.
That was a good like get off me position, like to do like the jab to get off of the jab. It makes sense, like the Rosa jab isn't the quickest jab. It's not the safest jab either. It's much safer when you have Luma, for example, and you need to really know when to use it. And it's the main way. Rosalina is going to be using her attack cancels and her using basically the mechanics of the game to shift how Luma is going to be positioned, and maybe using the buffer to her advantage too.
Well, let's see how Rosalina can pull this off, because she's a little bit in the disadvantage at this point. Ooh,
yeah,
could be very dangerous right there.
Very tall and floaty character. It makes sense to why it would drop, because like the herb box is not evened out, and yeah, a light character like this is going to be sent a bit too high during the up smash, and parrying the up beat, because that actually does damage, and it just doesn't stand any knockback. It's just a wind box with this damage. And And now you're just seeing,
These
wow.
players are going neck on neck against each other and finding
Oh,
this.
said that a lot.
I mean, it's fun and it's enjoyable because there are so many things that are happening on the tournament, and you know I want to remember all this action from this tournament because it's one of the last ones, but it's definitely not one of the least ones for sure.
It's one to remember for sure. I mean, these players have also like fought or done well against like even Tilde and Larry. It's not like they're like, for example, Tarik. He's a really good player, and beating Tarik is no easy feat. So if we see,
he won doubles, right? At DreamHack.
yeah, I think it was Tarik and Tilde. Yeah,
Could very well be. Yeah, I think so. So has experience in the international stage, but of course Solo being a very prominent top 20 player.
missed
the
input
Netherlands,
there,
but
and yeah,
this input can still happen.
yeah. I mean, Solo has been grinding since like it's kind of hard to find some certain matchup experiences, and like he's more open to actually practicing some Wi-Fi when really required. He's always on the grind, maybe using his character. Even learning maybe Sonic or Bayonetta. I've seen him literally off screen during some sets or during other tournaments practicing other characters, and it just goes to show he's not just a master at this Rosalina and Luma like difficult character, but like he's willing to put the time in for other characters and maybe see what his playstyle really is like if he works on other characters too.
I think very well worded, especially Solo is already a threat on the Rosalina, but if he mix up or if he plays any other character, he could definitely do the same, but in a different kind of fashion. But
yeah,
Tarik,
I've seen his like Peach. I've seen his like, yeah, I think his Peach is a pretty decent contender for like obviously not as consistent as his Rosalina, but it's up there. It's beaten some decent players. And wow, the up smash there, very good awareness, making sure to patiently wait and then cover that vertically.
Yeah, great front from Solo there, and now racking up the damage because you're quite behind. You're behind with 90% as well, and you still need to have a lot of hits in order to make it an even game. But
yeah,
this is already a great beginning.
Yeah, I definitely noticed this, especially like post-patch Rosa. But like, if you're really good at patience, Rosa, you know how to keep your Luma out, keep the star bits out. You know how to have the Luma just be a threat, regardless of if you're even close to the Luma. And that's why Tarik is still very eager to put that Luma out of commission, putting them into tumble and killing them.
Okay, so the forward throw is going to do it there, and
oh wow, and yeah, there's a lot of like tough tech chase situations that Tarik has to deal with. He can't just like get in there without accidentally being put into a situation where he's forced to tech or forced to be in the corner in the up air. Already a situation where like being an opportunist has helped a lot for Solo. Just I can't always get what I want. It's better to just position myself and set up for the situation rather than fish for it or try and force the kill. He knows that he can't just always do that, and a character like Rosalina and Luma is gonna have some blind spots or inconsistencies.
And I think it's already good to see that Tarik also is actively getting these tech chases done, and also doubling the damage so quickly in his favor. Ooh.
Oh wow, yeah,
because I'm looking forward.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to how potentially this music can maybe hype up Solo to have the power up that he needs this game 3.
Yeah.
So let's see.
This set could be out of this world, especially with Rosalina coming from space here. Yeah. But now let's see. Yeah, the smaller stage actually doesn't seem that bad for Rosa either. Oh, I noticed that already immediately. And yeah, it definitely seems like the platforms are still a very important asset here, both in neutral and advantage. Any kind of interaction within that little zone, that part of the almost center but not true neutral. It's like the half neutral.
Yeah, where you also need to be considering, of course, the platforms, and perhaps taking it off or maybe extending your damage to the fullest potential. But we're going to see up air not quite hitting.
And actually using a bit of neutral B. Like, you normally only really see that when he doesn't have the Luma he's trying to land, but he's been starting to use that again because he's only gotten like specific players where he was able to force that situation and get a kill off.
Okay, the Luma is battling the Greninja off stage.
Yeah, that was a good trade-off.
Yeah, it was almost very good, almost hitting the stage, but wasn't quite hitting enough for that to happen.
Wow.
But an up smash can definitely do it.
Already a lot that happened there. You know, like the nairs into the positioning, the B reverse, and then like going back and then dash up smashing to cover.
Yeah.
Wow, and like as you can see, the dash cancel grabs have been helping quite a lot for Solo here. This is much more. Yeah, it seems like more favored for Solo now that he remembers how to deal with other Greninja styles, because you know, ice studying plays a little bit different.
No, that's true, but from what I see currently is that maybe Super Mario visited the galaxy space with some stars, because I think Rosalina is powering up at this point.
Yeah, definitely has a lot of, not just power stars, a couple of grand stars ready and already feeding the Lumas with a couple star bits so they could put out the damage here.
Okay, no up air for the follow-up, but...
Yeah, not even just the dash attack cancel. Just getting the dash attack itself is pretty safe in some situations when you have a Luma with you. Because it's like a cross-up, and you have to look out for the Luma, just in case. Like, it might hit you vertically, or it shield pokes if you don't have a...
I think we saw a perfect example from that Luma hitting the Greninja, you know, from the edge. Very good play from Soda already, and the damage output, or the damage difference between these two is, you know,
oh, wow,
really showing at this point.
It kind of feels like that down B is more precise than I recall. As you notice, like, it didn't actually gravitate or pull the water shuriken that easily. It takes a bit of skill or positioning. The down smash, you know.
Good find from Soda right there.
Ooh, very good shield.
And Tarik was finding, you know, hoping to have a quick option with the up smash there, but Soda was ready for it. Maybe this music is doing something for him, because it's looking pretty good. Essentially better from the first and the second game.
Yeah, going for a lot of the cases now he's starting to protect Luma a little bit more. He needs that Luma to get that advantage. Maybe have an easier way to just keep the lead there. And the Luma should be coming back in just a second here. There we go.
I mean, fortunately, he has, you know, put up some damage. 35, nothing to be writing home about, but it's still a little bit more and a little bit better for this current point, because you need to remember this is the last stock potentially of Solo, because Tarik is up 2-0, and if he wins this is the tournament end of Solo.
And now we're just seeing that, like, the awareness and mastery of Rosalina and Luma jab. It's a bad move from a player who doesn't know how to use it, but a player like Solo knows when to use it, right? It's very helpful for just throwing it out in the right positions.
Very true, very well spaced, or was shielded by Tarik. Could have definitely been the stock there, but he keeps him tight.
A little bit more patience and defense here. The composure is coming back to Solo. He knows he is the Super Mario Galaxy player. He's the Rosalina player. Solo.
That's a beautiful.
And it's insane to see how far they've come, you know? Like,
yeah.
Solo especially has come very far as a player.
So let's see how Solo will react on this, you know, different stage, that being Hollow Bastion. Okay, good damage. Ooh.
And yeah, that back here is very safe. With the Luma, it's actually +6. I remember hearing a conversation about that, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, Shuck told me this, and I learned a lot when I was commentating with him, that like specific set we were watching, yeah, analyzing against Solo, and like you can see a lot of time is put into what you're supposed to do with like the Luma. The Luma makes things safe. The Luma protects, and you have to protect it. It's kind of a not a 50-50, but more of like a core balance. You know, the Luma's more vulnerable, but it's also stronger in some regards, quicker and slower in some ways. Yeah.
Well, it definitely widens all the picks that Rosalina could go for it. And if she doesn't have Luma, well, it's definitely a difference in game plan. Definitely a difference in plan, because the Luma opens up so many different you know, possibilities. Also, you know, getting a little bit of chip damage with that star bits as well.
And fortunately, though, it's not like a situation like Icy's or Pikmin-less Olimar, or like Steve without
it's
any
very
resources.
Dependent. Yeah.
It's I feel like at least Rosalina, even without the resources, can somewhat protect herself just before the Luma respawns.
Oh no, it's a very good balance, because she can do some things on her own, but I think the Luma just powers up her playstyle and just widens up the possibilities that she can throw out there in the game plan. But well, let's see if the Luma is going to do anything now because Tarik on 91%, that's already quite dangerous to be in for the Luma to potentially hit it with a forward smash or an up smash.
Oh,
Well,
wow,
right there.
good positioning. I
As
think
I
the
called
Luma
it.
traded, so the hit lag made it so Solo could tell when that was hit and then did the up smash immediately on reaction. Yeah, so like it's literally a meat shield. I remember hearing that too. Like it's actually true in some cases. Oh wow, and good positioning.
Was almost
I think the
start,
Luma like took a couple of the hits and then it hit Solo. So that's an interesting
kind of
interaction.
covering up the damage that perhaps otherwise Rosalina would
This is a tough
take.
situation.
I know this is tough.
Oh, and now he has Luma. Yeah, it's a little bit more favored because now he can at least get back and get off of the ledge. And that the whole jab is keeping him, keeping Tarik from getting off.
I mean, there was a great B there from Solo, but because the Luma was there, Tarik needed to answer to it as well. But
yeah, because like he was overly committed to the whole jab. Probably could have canceled it earlier, but he got hard punished for holding in too much for the.
well, let's see. We have another hype moment on us right now because it's the 4th game, and this could very well be the last, stock or game for Solo. Because if Tarik takes his home, he is heading over.
He needs to be really
towards
careful
loser
about how the
semifinals.
Luma is. Oh, it's out of the cards here. If he's not careful enough, he's not patient enough. If he doesn't wait, ooh, he waited just for the right moment, and now the Luma should be back in just a second.
Well, hopefully
And there
so.
it is.
Yeah, and
Yep.
there it is, and it's still in a finding power. Oh, and
now positioning almost for the jab up air. It could have been the game there. It
Luma
could've-
almost took the game over right there with, of course, Rosalina, being prepared to throw the up air right there, but
warping a bit of the Luma here, using the I guess the crouch to position specific situations where Luma wants to move.
and he also now needs to be careful because I think the Luma is also on low HP to say it like that, so maybe it could disappear at any moment.
Yeah,
if there's some
he has
more
to
hits.
protect the Luma a little bit more. He can't go for too much risk here.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that seemingly might be. Yeah, this is last hit practically for both players.
oh
and
yeah, this is down to the wire. This is anyone's game, and